Nobody knows your church, nobody knows your pastor. And every day you sit down and be like, this our church is not growing. How will it grow? Your church is not popular. Your church is not influential. Don't spend money in doing crusades. Don't spend money in doing music concerts where you invite people, invite artists, pay for sound, and just to have members. No. A lot of people say that evangelism is meant for pastors. Some people say evangelism is meant for church workers and ministers. And why some people believe that evangelism is a general thing for every Christian, as long as you're a child of God, as long as you're a believer, as long as you are born again. But the truth is, it doesn't matter what we believe. The most important thing is that we want our church to grow. You want your church to grow. You want that fellowship you are a member to grow. You want it to flourish. You want it to expand. So if you're a genuine Christian and you are interested in growing your church, you are concerned on how your church has not been growing, what to do, the thing that you need to do, what can we do for our church to grow, then this video is for you. Now, I will be talking on 2 ways to boost attendance in your church or your fellowship. Now, this has nothing to do with whether you're a pastor or you're a minister or you are just a member of the church. You see, everybody can participate in this kind of programs, and you watch and see your church, grow. Now, when we ask this question, what can we do to make our church grow? Many people say, okay, we need to hold a program, to hold maybe a conference, to hold a revival program, a crusade. And believe me, people have done this kind of things for many years. There are many churches that have done this kind of programs for many years, and yet not seeing improvement in the attendance of the church. They are not seeing improvement in any area. Those who actually came as a result of the program, after the program they went, and those who even stayed, maybe they stayed for like 2 Sundays, and the next thing they went back, returned back to their churches, and you spent money holding this program. All the money you spent just went away, and you are confused. You are like, that you wasted money at the end of the day, because the goal was to boost attendance, boost membership in your fellowship or in your church. So today I'm going to be sharing with you 2 steps, 2 important steps that will help boost your attendance, boost the membership of your fellowship or your church, drastically. Let me not waste your time. I'll just go straight to the point. Number one, the number one step is what I call influence and popularity. This one, it may be something you think you've heard before, and you think that it applies to just your pastor, it applies to your church. Now, I want to bring your insight. Now, the first thing people ask when you talk about your church, they ask 2 questions. Or somebody's meeting you for the first time and say, do you go to church? Are you a Christian? Do you go to church? The first question he will ask will be, which church do you attend? When you mention the name of your church, if your church is not popular, if your church is not known, and the person is like, I don't know the church, what's the name of your pastor? Now, that will be the second question. What's the name of your pastor? He wants to know. So if your church name is not known, your pastor's name is not popular, that person will be like, all right, maybe it's just one of these new churches. And the mindset people have gotten about these new churches, that just because it's not popular, it is not, they may not be genuine, because we have heard all kinds of stories about churches now. So everybody's afraid, everybody's skeptical when it has to do with just joining yourself into a new church. But one of the things that helps people to connect with your church and just be like, I want to be in this church, is how influential or how popular your church is. You understand? So now, how can your church be popular? You get, one of the things you need to do for your church to be popular is you talking about your church as a member of a particular church. Some people don't do it at all. Some of the persons that are watching me now, you've you've been in your church for like 3 years, for like 4 years, you've never talked about your church before on social media. You've never shared any post about your church before. You've never talked about your pastor. You've never advertised your pastor before. Nobody knows your church. Nobody knows your pastor. And every day you sit down and be like, this our church is not growing. How will it grow? Your church is not popular. Your church is not influential. This is the difference between your church and this, the popular churches, If I'm packing into a new area now, for instance, I'm packing into a new area and I be like, my church, let's say the church I was attending before is no longer, does not have a branch close to where I am, and I be like, I have to attend the church. What do I do? I will now start looking, which church do I attend now? What will be the first thing that will come to my mind? It is a church that I know that is, at least that is popular. So if we have, let's say we have names of churches that I don't know, and then we have Redeemed Christian Church of God in that environment. Which church do you think I will be comfortable to attend? Is it the church I don't know or the church that I know? Now that should bring your mind to what I'm talking about. Your pastor, if your pastor is not known, is not influential, is not popular, or whatever you call it, the name of your church is not popular, or whatever you call it, believe me, attendance will always drop. People come to people they know. People come to the church that is popular. That is just the key. So, as a member of a church, you can make your pastor popular. Let's say the choir department, you guys are 20, and then we have the ushering department, you guys are 20, and then we have the prayer band department, you guys are 10. That's 50 people. And then one day you guys just decide to talk about your pastor. That's your pastor. Ever since you've been attending that church, there are things that your pastor has said that has inspired you. That's why you're still attending that church. That's why you're still, listening to him. That's why he's still your pastor. You're still going to that church. It means that he is impactful. He has something that you believe has transformed your life in a sense. And so those things that he said in one way or the other, you can record those things or write those things down, share them on your profile, talk about them, and then be like, man, if you're not in so church, you are missing out. You keep doing these things. Let's say the 50 of you guys, 50 members in a church decide to publicize, do this kind of thing, make this kind of video and post, or write something about your pastor and post and be like, if you're not listening to so pastor, let's say Pastor George, for example, if you're not listening to Pastor George, you're missing out. Now, every day you keep doing something like that. Every day, if you do like that for 1 month, there are people around your area that are your friends who are on social media. Now, as they see those things, they'll be like, this pastor is really, I guess this pastor should be somebody that knows what he's doing. It should be somebody, before these people will be talking about him like this. I want to, you're already building something, you're creating an impression in people's head about your pastor, about your church, that your church is not just a local church, your church is somewhere that somebody can actually come and sit down to be blessed. That's the first impression you are creating on social media. So people, your friends, some of your friends that are even in your neighborhood that didn't even know about your pastor, as you keep posting like that and posting your pastor's pictures, probably draw some clips about your pastor's administration and post and talk about him, announce him, advertise him every day. People will be like, I feel like I want to meet this man of God. You're already making them believe that your pastor has something inside. That way you're selling your pastor. The more popular your pastor becomes, the more your church begins to gain attendance. The more influential your church becomes, the more people will begin to turn up. People want to be in a place where they are sure that this person has something to offer. And you are the one to tell the world that your pastor has something to offer. So if you're not announcing your pastor, if you're not talking about your pastor, you're not publicizing your pastor, how do you want your church to grow? You will be the member, say, since we came to this church, we've been 20, and you've been 20 all that while. The church is not growing, members are reducing. It's because you're not talking about your pastor, you're not advertising your pastor. You think that evangelism is just go about, talk to people. No. Even even when those people come, because there is no impression that creates that your pastor has something to offer, they will still go. So, but when you create this awareness that, oh, my pastor is a kind of man of God that if you encounter today, your life will never remain the same. Everybody is looking for a man of God that they can encounter, that something will change in their lives. You are the one to tell people that your pastor is that kind of man that people will encounter and things will change. So if you want to doubt me, or if you want to try this out, just gather your church, talk to the members of your church. You guys will just form a team and try to advertise your pastor for 1 month and see what will happen in your church. Every day you post about your pastor, tag your friends and talk about your pastor, advertise your pastor, advertise his messages, the points that inspired you. Just post them online and see what will happen. In just 30 days, just do it for 30 days and see what will come up in return. You will see that the attendance of your church will drastically change. You don't have to be a minister to do this one. You don't have to be a worker in your church to even do what I'm telling you now. You can sit down at the comfort of your home and achieve this goal. You understand? That's evangelism. That's kingdom advancement. That's kingdom expansion you're doing. The aim of it is that people will come to your church, and by so doing, God will touch their heart and they will be saved. If anybody comes through that link, through that thing you're doing, and then get saved, you have also won a soul. I hope you understand that. Then number 2, this one is majorly for the ministers. You get, every minister or church founders or anybody should come to that level where they understand that the era we are now is the era whereby if you tell somebody, if you teach a member to pray 12 hours in a day, you also have to teach that same member what to do to have a means of livelihood. Because after prayer, the person would have to eat. After fasting, the person would have to eat. After preaching the word of God, after evangelism, after all of these spiritual activities, the person would have to eat. He would have to pay NEPA bills. He would have to pay house rent. He would have to pay his bills. So if he's going into his room and he's praying for 13 hours, for 12 hours, for 24 hours, there's nothing wrong with it too. But just know that you will be the one in trouble. Because this person, after praying, he will be hungry. He will now come and be begging in church, begging one brother, begging one sister. So you also have to plan for a skill development program. If you want to boost the attendance of your church, you have to do that. I know that this is capital intensive now, but you have to, engage in this kind of programs. I will even advise that if your church is still an upcoming church, don't spend money in doing crusades. Don't spend money in doing music concerts where you invite people, invite artists, pay for sound, and just to have members. No, I would advise that you engage in these skill development programs. This is very important because you are expecting that members will come through those programs, and they won't come because you are not influential, you are not popular. People have not come to believe that there is something that you have to offer. So you're just trying to create an impression to people first. So just that impression cannot convince somebody to come to your church and want to become a member. So first, I would advise that you involve more in skill development program. And this skill development program that you're doing shouldn't be for your members alone. It should be for everybody. Let's say you are estimating 10 persons to be a part of your skill development program. Then you have 10 of your members, 10 outsiders. Let's say if it is for barbing and for laundry, and let's say for stylists. Now you are doing this program and 10 persons from your church, 10 persons outside your church are attending. Now at the end of this program, these people, they will find something to do. Somebody has become a barber by the course of this program. At the end of the program, somebody has become a dry cleaner. Somebody has become a stylist. Now some of these persons may not end up coming to your church, but there's something that is certain. They will never forget that thing you did for them. And everywhere they go, they will always talk about you. This here, when I sabi back today, I be no know how he just be now pastor so and so do one program like that, and somebody will be like, oh, you did not the church you dey attend? No, I know they attend the church, but now he do the program for everybody. Now, as people keep sharing this testimony, these people go about sharing this testimony. That's evangelism. That's what they are helping to advertise your good work. Are you getting it? So you are expanding your network without knowing. You may be like, since we finished this program, these people just benefited and they just left. You don't know that they are, as they are talking about people, they are talking about how they learned the job, how they got this that skill. They will mention your name. As they are talking about it, people are hearing and be like, this pastor is a man of God. Now, three set of people will come as a result of that program or as a result of that testimony. The first set of people that will come are people who are hoping that this kind of program will continue so that them too can benefit in learning one skill or the other and become something in life. Those are the first set of people that will come to your church. Now, the second set of people that will come as a result of this program you did will be people who believe that this is the kind of Christianity that should be practiced, a kind of Christianity where people are encouraged to do something, where church encourages members to have something to do. So there are people who believe that that is what true Christianity is all about. That's what Jesus really wants. So there are people who come because of that value you add in the lives of people. People believe that you are a man of God because you did that. Because you did that, you have people that you love people. So these are the second set of people that will come to your church. Then the third set of people that will come to your church as a result of this program that you did will be people who would want to support that vision, people who believes in that kind of vision and wants to support and want to be a partaker. They don't have much. They can say, okay, fine, if you're doing it next month, I will support with 20,000, I will support with 5,000. They just believe that they are called into that ministry to support people to become something in life. So there are people that will come in that with that mindset. They are coming because they see you've done something, you did something that impacted people's life, something that people would do and keep doing till they die to earn a living. So they feel like this is something, a vision I should be part of, so they will become part of what you're doing. So you see, you are not losing at the end of the day. You know that if you want to do crusade now, you run advert, print bill, flyers, banners, and all of that, hire sound, do crusade, and at the end of the day, you're not getting anything in return. So what am I trying to say? These two steps is very, very vital for church growth if you want to boost attendance or membership in your church. I will stop here. If you want me to continue this video, if you like this video and you want me to give you more points on how to boost attendance in your fellowship and in your church, I would like you to comment on the comment section and just tell me, drop more points, and I would be more than excited to drop more points in regards to this video. Now, I want you to know that the whole goal is for the kingdom to be advanced. Evangelism does not really have to do with you going out from street to street, from door to door, knocking on people's house and talking about Jesus. Evangelism is something you can also do in the secret, something you can, like these things I've shared with you, you can do it in the secret to achieve your goal. So if you love this video, please, I want you to tell me something that you love in this video. God bless you. Thank you.